1977.
You know, demonstrations better than conversation.
So there's an allegations that you hired police officers Sammy Martin, David Mack, and Rafael Perez. Do you know Sammy Martin?
No.
Do you know David Mack?
No.
Have you ever met Rafael Perez?
No.
Yeah. And then Perez and them was all involved. They were trying to kill me too, but see, because Perez and Reg was good friends, and Perez and Sharita and Reg is great friends, and so all those three together was trying to plot.
No. Okay, so how are these three cops? We know for a fact Rafael Perez and David Mack were corrupt because they got convicted. Don't know a lot about Sammy Martin, but how are these three cops, LAPD, linked to you?
I told you. Right.
By Valerio Hammond.
And Kevin Hackey, said, I think I saw them around Death Row. People don't know. They just throw out stuff because they want to
Be relevant.
or say something. But the one good thing about it, and the one thing I will ask some people to do, is we know cell phone records is there.
Pump your brakes, fat boy. If niggas had a cell phone in 96, not including them chirps or Nextels, because we know they wasn't under any legit names, probably David Kenner, where the feds couldn't get to it, but nobody really had a cell phone prevalent like that, you liar.
It's out there. Y'all don't think the FBI, LAPD, and all these people have never pulled up all our phone numbers to see if we ever talked to once, not 10 times, 20 times, one time.
You being law enforcement, your daddy being the chief of police, you had access to every which way, form, and fashion to how they would raid, how they would call, how they would conduct business. Hell, the chief of police at Compton PD, Ori Taylor, was caught with a half key of cocaine right there on his very desk. So if you don't think that they knew how to blow past certain authoritative figures, shit, not only did you blow past them, you had help, you fat mother.
Have you ever heard any of them? They done told on all of each other. Only ones they ain't told on is Rafael ain't told on David Mack. But he done told on everybody else. Got people with major time and stuff. They have never uttered the name Reggie Wright Jr. Not one of them. Only jailhouse informants reading stuff in the newspaper, knowing me and Suge's relationship, are the only ones that ever bring up the name Reggie Wright Jr.
David Mack, Rafael Perez, and Sammy Martin were never on the payroll of Right Way or Death Row.
Never.
At the same time, they just played with the thing the way they wanted to play with it. And see, the thing is, those guys, if you go back and watch the film, they was already stalking Pac. They watching him. So that just tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had two of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled them off of me. And after it happened, I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never sent nobody. Yeah, I heard them. I mean, he's a good guy. I never lied to him or nobody, because, all that stuff, they know who was going on behind all that stuff,
I met somebody who was in jail with you at the time, and he said it's impossible that he was on a cell phone back then. Impossible.
It's definitely possible. I mean, the one thing, too, with Tupac, I still got a 45 bullet into my skull. And the thing about it is, they've been knowing all this type of stuff from day one. And that's why they violated me and sent me to prison last time. And the other thing is, for Biggie, I'm quite sure if they saw the first one, they would saw the second one. It's the same circle of people,
I got tapped on the shoulder by one of the cop's daughters that was involved, and she told me. I mean, this isn't conjecture anymore. We know the facts.
Yeah. same people, same circle of people.
Yeah.
Have nothing to do with me, you know?
Yeah. In this exchange between Suge and Michael Carlin, Suge states that if they understand what happened in the killing of Tupac, they would also understand the murder of Biggie.
He says it's the same circle of people.
If you're from the US, you're a friend of mine.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of stuff that says, basically, the public is naive to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of things in, dealing with incarceration, even business, just a lot of politics, you know. I mean, it's like, I never should have went to prison the first time I went to prison, but I had caught the accounting firm who Jimmy introduced us to. They stole like about $30, $40 million, you know. One thing with my accounts was I signed all my checks. So any check was over $5,000, I definitely had to sign it. And they was giving David $100,000 a month, and David said he was giving Jimmy a kickback from $100,000 a month. So we was paying for all the work he did as an attorney, and he was giving him $100,000 a month.
Wow.
And buying cars and houses and stuff.
Wow.
So that played an effect on my me getting a violation when I shouldn't have got a violation.
Well, that whole Orlando Anderson thing, man, I mean, it was really bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, even when he came in, they put him on stand, and the judge asked me, said, do you know Suge Knight? I said, you don't know Suge Knight. I said, what did he do? The only thing he did was help me and save my life.
More than twice?
Yes.
More than 3 times?
Yes.
But when the beating victim, Orlando Anderson, took the stand, he testified Knight tried to stop the beating. Again, we cannot show you Anderson on the stand.
I seen him standing right there helping. He was about the only one.
He was helping you, is that correct?
Yes.
Which I basically did, because, you know, Pac was my little brother and the #1 artist out on the bond. And if he would have got in trouble, he was going back to prison.
Yeah.
So I know there's cameras everywhere in Vegas because I went to UNLV. They just take it to the top of his watch. So, you know, I was breaking up, saying, cut that bullshit out right there. But at the same time, they just played with the thing the way they wanted to play with it. And, see, the thing is, those guys, if you go back and watch the film, they was already stalking Pac, like watching him. So that just tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
Yeah.
And that's why, like I said, I had 2 of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled him off of me. It didn't have to happen. I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never sent nobody.
Yeah.
And Frank blocked us in, purposely. Later, he told us at the streets. They told him to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, Frank got so bad he died, you know?
Well.
And you know, and the sad thing about it, Orlando wasn't even the shooter, you know?
No, exactly. No.
And it's sad, but that's not at all. He was actually a good kid, too, you know?
Yeah.
This audio you just listened to is the most important exchange to take note of. Suge Knight implicates LAPD cop Rafael Perez, his ex-wife, Sharitha Knight, and Reggie Wright Jr. in the killing of Tupac. He alludes again that if you understand the power struggle that was going on at the time for Death Row Records, you would also understand the role Reggie Wright Jr. played in all of this. This is the first time that Suge Knight has implicated Rafael Perez. What is interesting is that he puts Perez in the middle of the shooting of Tupac. I want to be clear that as of now, I have no hard evidence as it relates to the murder of Tupac.
Yeah, my judge said he wants to take 97 times and still couldn't say I did anything.
Yeah.
He asked him, could he just give me less time, like 1 year, or back on probation? And the lawyers never said, yeah. They all kept saying, no, but that's not true. He could have.
Yeah.
And I got the paperwork to prove from 2 different DAs and all attorneys. I never had a firearm when I went on probation for it. A lot of part of the history need to be shown, need to be said, because it can help people in the future, you know?
Knight entrusted the protection of the artist to former and current police officers and fire department officials. Of course, not all of the police hired by Reggie Wright were model citizens. The arrests of David Mack and Rafael Perez showed a new level of corruption in the LA Police Department, and both were on death row's payroll. But not all of the bodyguards were corrupt, and surprisingly enough, not all of the bodyguards have been interviewed by Las Vegas police.